My father joined Wannamoisett in 1950. We lived right here in Rumford. And a neighbor of ours by the name of Ed Howell, who was a past president of this club many, many years ago, convinced my father that he should join the club. Neither my father or I had ever played the game of golf, and we joined here as complete novices in 1950. And I joined the club on my own when I got out of college in 1962, so I've been a member here for 64 years.
Well, I joined the club in 1963, and with a couple of friends, and that's I really started to play golf then. I played a little bit before then, but not much.
I joined in 1967, which puts me about, what is that, 47 years that I've been here. Like others, came in, did not know very many people, was introduced around by a variety of older members who kind of took me under their wing. But the important part of all of this was that people went out of the way to make you feel comfortable.
Let's see, my parents became a member here in 1956, and I became a member myself in 1976. There are so many memories, there's so many great guys that came through here that are still here. It's hard to pick any particular situation. They were all great, in my opinion.
I've been here since November of 1984, 30 years then. I was at another club for a long time, and I was driving, my office was down the street, and I was driving by here every day to go to the other club. And so a friend of mine, Ed Clegg, who was the president here, I said, Ed, is there any chance that I could get into Wannamoisett? And he said, I think there is. So I had the opportunity to join Wannamoisett, and it's probably one of the best things I ever did in my life.
My family has been here I'm the third generation. When my father was 4, his parents joined, so he was here all his life. So when I joined, well, I didn't join. When I was born, I should say, my family they were members here, so I grew up here. The pool was built when I was 4 years old. So my mother brought us over here when we were kids.
I joined Wannamoisett in 1975. I became a member. I was sponsored by a man by the name of Perry Davis and also Walter Ahern, which were two of the longtime members here. They brought me, I did not know either one of them. I was introduced to them through Jake Conley.
I did sponsor quite a few.
Including me.
Some good, some not so good. I didn't have to do a thing. They wanted to join. The big attraction, as you know, is the golf course.
The membership and the leadership of the membership has always focused on the golf course as the primary reason why people are here.
The golf course is what really makes Wannamoisett, and the condition of it, it's been beautiful for years. I think right now it's in the best shape it's ever been in.
I've played a lot of great golf courses in my life, a lot of them. And a lot of the ones that you know all about. And none of them are any better than this one, in my opinion.
It's great. You can play it 10 days in a row and never have the same second shot.
And everyone waves to everyone, acknowledge you, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's hard to imagine how it could be any better.
It's nice that the people that ran this club never changed it, because it is a par 60. It's the only par 69 on any of those Golf Digest or Golf World, all those courses. I believe we're the only par 69 on there. And we don't have any room to make this a bigger golf course. We're on 102 acres or whatever it is, and that includes the parking lot and the swimming pool and the clubhouse and everything. So there's no room here. The only hole you could stretch out would be number 2, and they have stretched it out to make it a very long par 4 again because of all these modern golfers that hit it so far, but it would be a lousy par 5 hole, I think. So it's remained the way it is, and that's the way it should be.
But also the membership. I think the membership makes Wannamoisett too, because the people here are great.
The strength of the membership is totally important. It's as important as the quality of the golf course. The golf course quality draws people, but the strength of the membership keeps people. And we have been very successful in attracting quality members to this club.
It's the kind of thing I think that you feel when you get into a tournament or the playoff or something, and there's your friends, a crowd of people following you, and you know, the competition. That's exciting, and I think the following that you get, like at recently, like at a member or at a member guest, and you see the membership and the guests follow the final playoffs, the sudden death, or whatever it might be, plus the cocktail party that follows the friendship and the camaraderie is something that you look back on.
Well, I guess the member is the highlight of my year, I guess. You know, it's partners against everybody. 64 teams, 8 divisions, you play 9-hole matches, meet a lot of new guys. It's just a fun tournament.
The member tournament in the spring is usually a 3-day or 4-day round robin kind of tournament. And to me, that's the highlight of the year. And the reason for that, because is, as has been said previously, the camaraderie that goes on with that. And you get to meet a lot of people that you normally have never played with. And I used to play in the member almost every year, and also the member guest. And I considered the member guest to be probably the second most important tournament at the club. Some people would disagree, and they think the Northeast Amateur should be is number 1. I disagree. Okay, Northeast Amateur is great to have here, and it does a lot of things for Wannamoisett. But to me, the club is for the membership. So the member guest and the member are the 2 most important tournaments.
Almost anybody who's anybody in golf as a player has played in the Northeast Amateurs. It's very impressive. I mean, you've seen the board out there of the people that have won this tournament, the David Duvalls and John Cook and Dustin Johnson, people like that, Luke Johnell. But what's more impressive are the guys that played in this tournament that didn't win it. When the tournament started, the tournament was started by 4 gentlemen that were involved in golf around Rhode Island. One was Ed Perry, who was the director of the Rhode Island Golf Association at the time. Another one was Joe Oney, who was a member of this club, had been a president of the RIGA, very involved in golf. Third one was Paul Mackesy, who was the athletic director at Brown University, and Pete McCarthy, who was the golf writer for the Providence Journal. They got together one day and decided that it would be nice to have a real first-class medal play golf tournament here in New England, in Rhode Island. And so they put this tournament together. They called it the Northeast Amateur. And the idea at the beginning was to have it 1 year at Wannamoisett, 1 year at Rhode Island Country Club, and 2 clubs would alternate every other year to have the tournament. And they would get the best golfers from the Northeast to play in this tournament. It started as a 54-hole tournament. The first year it was held at Wannamoisett, the second year it was held at Rhode Island, the third year at Wannamoisett, the fourth year when it was due to go to Rhode Island, they had a problem with their greens and they asked if we could keep it again that year, and we did, and it never went back to Rhode Island. I don't know why it never went back there, but it never did. So most people don't realize that the Northeast Amateur was actually held at Rhode Island Country Club one time. It's been here all the other years. But I got involved in it as a young member, just helping out, doing whatever I could, and it evolved into where fellow that was running it at the time had a business failure and went to the board and explained to them that he was not going to be able to do the tournament that year, and that he also had done no work on it, and it was like 6 or 7 weeks before the date of the tournament. And I got a phone call from Buzz Halliday, who was the president of the club at the time, telling me about this problem and asking me if I could run the tournament. And I said that I could not, because I had just started a new job about a month earlier than that, and I wouldn't have the time to do that. And he just kind of laughed. He said, well, you are doing it because we called your boss, and you're doing the tournament.
One thing happened during my presidency that was kind of interesting. At that time, the club was leasing all the cots, and the cots were all electric cots. And Jack Gregory was on the board, and he was Green's chairman, and he, of course, being in the automotive, not the automotive, but the construction business, he said, Buzz, you know, if we went to gas cots and we set up a maintenance program and we purchased them instead of leasing them, and we could keep these cots for like 5 years, and we could really make some money for the club. So we looked into it, and Jack arranged to have Easy Go or Yamaha, or whatever different cot people were involved at the time, drop off a cot for a week, and we all, the board members or some of us, would go out and take a ride and this and that and so on and so forth. Well, bottom line was there was still some resistance to going all gas, so we kind of split the difference, and we purchased X amount of gas cots and purchased some electric cots as well. And I remember signing a note at the Old Stone Bank in Riverside for $85,000. And at that time, 1980, you know, that was a sizable expenditure for the club. And as a result of that move and purchasing the cots, the club from that point on always purchased the cots, some electric, some gas, and became a very profitable move for Wannamoisett at that time.
When I was president, there was a different attitude about how the club would be run. It was financially, you always wanted to break even, and you didn't want to incur, contrary to today, any debt. So your tenure as president would be 2 years, and I was told that the debt would be at least not more, but less than when I came in. So we couldn't do a lot of improvements that today they do. And I'm not so sure that we were right, but that's the way it was run in those days, because everything was so tight. There wasn't as many people wanting to be members as there are today.
There was a different attitude about, in that time frame, yeah, the debt thing, and there was, the texture of the club was different too. So I used the word Yankees. There were a lot more guys that didn't want, you know, anything spent on the physical nature of the club. I mean, when Burt
We
Batty,
still have them.
when Burt Batty did that pool, that was you can tell that story.
That was a no-no
So
to most of the membership, but he did it anyway.
when was he president? Do you remember what year that was?
No, I don't.
No, but so
you can look it up on the
But
board.
he was-
It's a long way back.
when he was president, that's when he did that pool, right?
Oh, yeah, you had to be.
So think about this place. This is a golf club, okay? And you had to meet Burt Batty. It's beyond belief. You can't even describe his life. It's just crazier than crazy. And he was a developer. What is he, in the insurance business?
Construction, yeah,
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah, so he had all these things, but he was just a nut. He was just crazy, crazy guy. So he decides one year that they need a pool, right? And I don't know the whole story behind that, but and what does he do? Tell the story. He just,
Well, first of all, when you're going to spend a lot of money on something here, and a lot could have been just a little today, but you'd get a consensus of how people felt about it. Well, Bert, in his own way, he'd go around and ask people, and no, we don't want it. pool. It's gonna cost us $100,000 for a pool. No. And next thing we know, they're in there digging it up and they built a pool. Thank God they did, because for you young guys today, that's the big attraction for families. But in those days, they didn't want to waste the money on anything but the golf course.
Well, at that time, the senior tournament at Wannamoisett, it was named after Burt Batty, but it was a handicap tournament and 18 holes. And I tied with Ted Fogarty at 68, net 68. So we had an 18-hole playoff. So we picked a partner to play with us, and I think it was Wayne Rivard was with Ted Fogarty, and Ernie Greenhalgh was playing with me. And I think Ted was giving me like 3 shots. So anyway, we tee off and we're playing, and we come up to the 5th hole, and just as we get to the 5th hole, there's a plane flying over the golf course. And the plane's got a message behind it. It says, "Good luck, Buzzy Honey." And the plane flew around and over and over. I said, "Teddy, if that plane flies around here one more damn time, I'm gonna shoot the guy." But the plane flew over for about a half an hour. And we finished the match, and it was a good match. But I beat him outright without the shots. I shot a flat 80 that day. And but Teddy wouldn't acquiesce until I knocked in a putt on the 18th hole. He said, "It's yours." So, but it was a great time, and I'll never forget the plane riding over. And Buzzy Honey is kind of stuck around here a little bit from time to time.
On the first tee, I don't know when he started to do this, but my father, who was Perry Davis, started to bet people $1 as to whether or not they would hit their tee shot in the fairway or not. And his bet was always, you won't hit the fairway. So obviously, when you get up on the tee and you feel confident and you want to hit a good shot, you want to be in the fairway. So you would take that bet. I'm not sure he let people off the hook. He might have kind of been insistent, but he was there a lot to make that bet with people when they teed off. So I think I don't know. I would love to know how it ended up with him, whether he came out ahead or whether, the players came out ahead as far as being in the fairway and winning $1 from him.
That's one of the good things about this place. You can always come over here and get a game. You don't have to make one up. I mean, a lot of times you do make them up, but if you come over here on your own, you'll get out there with 3 other guys.
We never really had a lot of cliques here. Everyone would play with. If your handicap was scratch, when your handicap was 25, it didn't matter. Okay, most everyone, not everyone, but most everyone would play with anyone and everyone.
Again, it's not only the golf course, it's the membership that make it so special. And from the first day I got here, I was accepted, and I'm very grateful for it.
That's why we have the system. We have the nominating committee made up of board members, and so it carries on. When they look for new candidates, they're looking for the same things we were looking for. And that's going to continue on, I'm pretty sure, with the group of people we choose to run the club. Character, honesty, integrity. That's what we're looking for.
I have to say, we just got in a lot of terrific new younger members. And the spirit is going to go on. We're full, which is nice, but the younger members that are coming in they're family men. All of them have families and children and wives, and they're enjoying the pool. The pool is taking off. The golf course and children, it's a great children's program here. Of course, and that's the future of the club, as long as we have young guys with their families coming in and their children. The club will live on forever, and we hope that is forever.